over there and Mike over here and you over there. And we live in a three-dimensional space. Today we are starting our listening of the entire album Animals by Pink Floyd from 1977.
Hooray!
We're finally back to Pink Floyd. A little bit about this album before we get into it. I think this was a period in the band where the tension was really increasing. It kind of came to a head on the next album. And when it came out, it was initially received with kind of mixed reviews. But as most of these really good albums, later, when they were revisited, people started to say, like, no, this is one of their best albums.
Wouldn't know, haven't heard it. You know the spiel.
Yeah, I am. She's never heard it, of course. And I am not that familiar with it. I've heard it, but not a long time ago. And it wasn't really something I played a lot. All the lyrics, of course, were written by Roger Waters. Most of the singing is done by Roger Waters as well, which is different for them. David Gilmour, to me, until this point, has been the primary singer in the band.
Into my uncouth ears,
yeah,
they sound a lot alike.
Nobody really contributed much songwriting on here except for Gilmour, but he was distracted by the birth of his first child. So his songwriting credits really just come from the fact that some of the material on this album was already written. I don't think he wrote any new material for this album because he was too busy. It's kind of like a concept album, I would say, because obviously animals, all the song titles are named after animals.
Fun.
And
like
it sort of has this George Orwellian feel, like Animal Farm. You know that book, right?
Oddly enough, for being a prodigious reader, I never read that one.
This album is more just a statement on modern life and capitalism. And it's not a pleasant album if you look at the lyrics. It's pretty dark, heavy. I would even call it angry.
I get that from all their songs anyway.
Most of his songs
it's an outlet.
At this period were like that, though.
Yeah.
This was recorded in a block of church halls, which were purchased by the band. And they converted it into a recording studio because I think they wanted to take their sweet ass time. More than half the album was older songs that they repurposed that didn't make it onto the previous album. There's two songs that they had already been performing live.
Okay.
Now they reworked them a little bit, changed the lyrics around a little bit, but those were essentially written already. The album cover was done by Hipgnosis, which does like almost every album cover. Certainly has done their album covers. Huh?
How many did they do? They did Led Zeppelin. They did...
They did...
we watched a special on that.
A countless number
of
of them.
Right.
The concept was a Roger Waters concept. So the concept is this 40-foot... He got a 40-foot... They made a 40-foot pig balloon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think we saw this on the Hipgnosis documentary we saw.
I was they flying away or something.
Yeah, they flew it by a power station and took some pictures. And they hired a marksman in case it got loose and they had to shoot it down. They didn't want it to float away into space.
Hardcore.
They weren't totally satisfied with day one, so they went out there for day 2 or 3 or whatever. And they didn't feel like hiring the marksman anymore. And of course, the pig did get loose. It actually went by the airport. And
pig sightings across the nation.
On side 1, we have Pigs on the Wing, part 1. Now that one's just written by and sung by Waters. Nobody else is on that song. And I think the title refers to fighter pilots. They refer to their enemies in their blind spot as pigs on the wing, I guess.
I like that.
Now it's interesting because most of the album isn't like this, but this very short opening and closing are pigs on the wing. It's like bookends the album. And it's like a lighter love song, really. So it's really different from the rest of the album. I think he had recently been married. And then the rest of side 1 is just one song, Dogs. And dogs represent predators in the business world, I think. And that was one of the songs that they were already playing live. It was co-written by Waters and Gilmour, at least the music was. And the lyrics were done by Waters.
Okay.
And this is the only song that Roger Waters doesn't totally sing on. It's got Gilmour, at least at first, on lead vocals, and I believe Richard Wright does some harmonies. This is the last song ever that Richard Wright does any singing on for Pink Floyd. We're using the stereo mix of the album. That's what we're listening to. if you have a surround sound system, you might want to switch the links in the description to the exact same reaction, but you can listen along in surround sound.
If you didn't care, what happened to me? And I didn't care. For you. We would zigzag our way through the boredom and pain, occasionally glancing up through the rain, wondering which of the buggers to blame. And watching for pigs on the wing.
Okay. Right into a different mood, man.
You got to be crazy.
Okay, Gilmore singing.
You gotta have a real need. Gotta sleep on your toes. And when you're on the street, you got to be able to pick out the easy meat with your eyes closed. Then moving in silently downwind and out of sight. You got to strike when the moment is right without thinking. And after a while, you can work on points for style, like the club tie and the firm handshake, a sudden look in the eye and an easy smile. You have to be trusted by the people that you lie to.
calm down a bit. Emotional as usual. Oh yeah. That is awesome. Very cool.
And when you lose control, you'll reap the harvest you have sown.
I think you got Richard right on harmony there.
And as the fear grows, the bad blood slows and turns to and it's too late to lose the weight you used to need to throw down.
Is that Seamus barking?
Gotta admit that I'm a little bit confused. Sometimes it seems to me as if I'm just being used. Gotta stay awake, gotta try and shake off this creeping malaise.
Those hits give you the feeling like he's waking up.
If I don't stand my own ground, how can I find my way out of this maze? Deaf, dumb, blind. You just keep on pretending that everyone's expendable and no one has a real friend. But it seems to you the thing to do
intense. Well, so far, liking it. Even though it's one song, it doesn't feel like one song.
I'm still letting it saturate, right? There's some of these things that I hear in it, and they're just outside of my comfort zone. So I'm thinking, like, the things that you pick up later and you start humming subconsciously. But it's just one of those ones that you're like, oh, I think I like it, but you don't know until it starts growing. So that's where I'm at with side one.
I love David Gilmour's guitar solos always, so you can never... that never disappoints. I prefer David Gilmour singing, so I kind of miss that he's not going to be singing on the rest of this album, but hey, we'll live. But we could not live without our patrons. Our patrons support us in the best way possible. We love them. We really appreciate your support. If you'd like to check out what they're doing over there on Patreon, the link's in the description. We have extra videos there that we don't have on YouTube, including movie and TV reactions as well. There's a lot there, so go check it out. If you'd like to leave us a tip, you could do so with PayPal or the thanks button in some of our videos. Any donations of $5 or more will get recognized in our next video. Und please subscribe. Most of the people that watch these videos are not subscribers, which is the usual YouTube thing, but if you could subscribe, it would really help us out. Helps the channel grow, so we appreciate it. And we appreciate your comments. Any likes and sharing the video, all that kind of stuff is always appreciated. Next one will be side 2, and we'll see you for that. Until then, bye-bye.
Okay.